Yeah, you're good, brother.
All right. Good evening and welcome everyone on this call. Tonight is a special night. It's a special night for two reasons. The first reason is that our guest tonight, just on short notice, agreed, to put everything aside to stay awake just to grace our hot seat tonight. And then also the number two reason is that this lady is the second marketing director to come out of Nigeria. So our guest for tonight, Monday Night Live, is Mrs. Nkonye Duru. Mrs. Nkonye Duru is an architect, a hotelier, an MTN franchisee, FGPL pension administrator, also the founder of an NGO that trains orphan children. She's married with four lovely children and a marketing director of World Ventures. So without much ado, we're going to go straight into this. Nkonye, can you hear me good? If you can hear me, good evening and welcome to our special Monday Night Live session. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Harold, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. How do you feel? How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Welcome to our call. And first of all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for agreeing to grace our hot seat tonight. And then also for all the amazing work that you're doing out there in Nigeria, impacting people, and just making sure that you go all out with this amazing concept and gift of ours. Now, I'd like to go straight into it by asking you, who is Mrs. Nkonye Duru? Who is Mrs. Nkonye Duru? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, that's really nice. Whenever somebody asks me who I am, the first thing that comes to my mind is what I like to do. I'm a very passionate person, but I know you're more or less asking me the question of what I do for a living and have, survived with all the things I do for a living. Yes, my name is Nkonye Duru. I'm an architect by profession. I'm a registered architect in my country. I'm also a hotelier. We have 2 hotels in the Bond series, and we're working on the 3rd one. And then also we have a franchise with MTN for about 14 years. We also are into pension administration. Like he said, I own an NGO for the past 20 years. Yeah, we've been training orphans. And of course, I'm married with 4 lovely children. Then finally, I'm here as a marketing director of World Ventures.
Wow, that's awesome. Super awesome. So, Nkonye, tell me, you seem to have a very long portfolio. Okay, all these things that you're involved in. Before I ask you, when you joined World Ventures and why you even chose World Ventures, I'd like to find out. I'm going to jump a bit and then go back, just to take that particular question. But tell us, how are you able to combine? I'm asking this question because of those who have even decided, agreed to join this life-changing experience, and they give the excuse of the time factor. Those who use the time factor as an excuse not to build their dreams. How have you been able to combine building World Ventures, especially in a market like Nigeria that has always been perceived to be an unfertile ground? How are you able to build there and combine with all the things that you do?
I like what you said at the beginning. You said, how are you able to do your dreams? I mean, if they're your dreams, you have to find a way to fulfill them. You can't just write your dreams in the sky without bringing them down to reality. So what motivates me is actually making sure that my dreams are fulfilled to reality. So my mom always says, when you enjoy something, you will see it as a joyful stress. So I basically try to enjoy every single thing I do and make sure it becomes part of me, and I just get through. Organize my timing, know what time I have to do for this, for that, and make sure everyone is happy, especially my family.
Awesome. So how's the family responding to your success and all that, from your partner and your kids? Are you getting support from the family, or we are still getting there?
Well, with all the other businesses I do, which is very, very traditional, I have full support from my partner and my children. Of course, this new one is very different from the traditional ones I've been doing. I've actually never done network marketing before. So initially, my partner was like, oh, because we have a very bad conception about network marketing. So at the beginning, he wasn't supportive of it. But the person who introduced me to it is someone he loves very much and respects a lot. In fact, is his favorite sister-in-law. That's my elder sister. So it was very easy for him to say, okay, why not go ahead? So that was how I got the support. Like now I'm having this call. I've already told my children, stay clear. I'm have a call. So everybody understands that no disturbance for me at this time. So they're quite supportive, yes.
Amazing. Good to know that. And I'd like to now retrogress a bit and ask, so how did you find World Ventures? First of all, how did you find it? Who showed it to you? And when did you decide to be a part of this great concept?
Okay. Usually, my sister and I, we have this lovely thing we like to do. We like to give our husbands surprise packages, maybe their birthday or anniversary. And so the first time I saw her when they went out, she went to Kenya with her husband, and I said, wow, lovely place. So she introduced me to World Ventures because I was planning to have a birthday outing for my husband. And I just wanted to plan a vacation for him for his birthday. And that was how I joined. And that was 1 year and 8 months. But somewhere along the line, when I wanted to remove my subscription, I got 10 people in a very short space of time. And all you needed was just 4 platinums because I was a platinum member then. And since I had gotten more than 10, she said, why don't you do the business? Well, I just followed suit because it's my sister and I just love her and what she tells me, it's okay for me. So I followed suit. So in the beginning, my why was my sister. But by the time I got into the business of the World Ventures business, I realized that I had alternative income to satisfy or to fulfill other wishes I had, especially the orphans I trained. So my why, first of all, my why was my sister. Then my why was my travels for my husband. Then my why became the orphans I had to train. So the why just kept changing. And now I see it as a business I'm doing.
Awesome. So for you, who just joined out of love for your sister, at what point did it change from, well, first and foremost, it was for your sister, then next was for your travels, and then to the orphans, and then it kept changing. What your why transitioning from one point to the other? Hello.
Okay. Now, like I said earlier on, most times when you want to recruit somebody, the first 4 people or the first closest people you recruit are people who will just say yes without asking. So I'm one of her first group of people that would just say yes to her without asking. But by the time I got in, I realized that this was a vehicle for me to also fulfill things I've been doing. I'm a very business person. And so I began to see, I attended a millionaire school in my team, and I saw the concept of the company. And I knew that it just flowed with what I would like to do to add this as another business that I do. So it just became another business I do. And that was when I joined the millionaire school. It took me some months for me to make that decision, even though I'd even gotten up to the level of director. But at that point, I made that decision. It was like smooth all the way.
Good to know that. So tell us right now, having been someone who has never done network marketing and coming into World Ventures, what were some of the challenges that you first experienced? Let's say in your first 1 year, because the first 1 year is the most critical the most critical period that actually kicks a lot of people out of the game. So I always say that if you're able to survive 1 year, you might as well survive a lifetime. Okay. So in your first year, what were some of the challenges you faced building this business?
I think I had a big bucket of adversities, if that's what they call it, yeah? When I joined World Ventures, when I joined World Ventures, that was 1 year and 8 months ago, I was somehow in the fast track. I actually became a senior rep in a very short space of time. And in about 1 month, 2 weeks, I would have been a director. Now, I just needed 2 sales to be a director, and I closed my eyes. I'd already presented to people. They were going to send me their details, but they didn't do that. And the next morning, I woke up and I saw the details. I said, oh, fantastic. I'm a director today. So I went into my back office to try to put in those names. and you won't believe it, I lost all my numbers. So from being a director in February, which was like almost immediately after I joined, it took me another 6 months to finally become a director because I had lost all my numbers. The reasons why I lost the numbers was, one, I had a recruit who had given false information about what we do and made it look like the travels was for free. And all of a sudden, the people just got up and said they're not interested anymore and they left. So it's good to always say the truth of whatever it is we're doing. And then the second thing was, because I wasn't in network marketing, I had this friend who had joined another team. So a lot of people knew her in my country and felt, let's stick with the person that is well known for network marketing. And they also just all left at the same time to my friend because they were used to being in the network marketing group. So I woke up and found out that from being so close to being a director, I lost virtually my whole team and I had to start all over again to build.
Wow.
Well, that didn't stop me. I became a director, and you'll be surprised, I lost the rank 4 times and went back to senior rep. But it didn't stop me. I just kept moving and moving, and by his grace, and in June, 30th of June, I now became a marketing director. So imagine me losing rank 4 times, being a senior rep, and now I'm a marketing director. Yeah.
All right, cool. That definitely isn't a great experience. Now, Nkonye, one of the key things that you keep saying is keep moving. I kept moving. Now, despite all the adversity you've been through, which is your form of adversity, I'd like to find out what kept you moving. What kept you moving? You know, each time you fell and then you had to rise. What kept you moving?
Okay. I just want to say something. When you're in a traffic jam and you need to get home to eat a very sweet amala or swallow and soup, would you just stop your car and park? No, you would just continue moving. No matter how slow or how fast the traffic goes, you will just keep moving until you get home because you have a goal. You have something at the end of the road which you have to get to. So my focus was actually my end of the road. I had my targets, I had the decision I had made, and so I just kept moving because I knew that once you stop, once you find yourself in the point of stagnation, there is nothing like stagnation. You start regressing. If you don't continue showing and having the opportunity to sign up more people, what happens? You retrogress. And once you retrogress, it's difficult for you to get your foot back. So I had my eyes in the finish line. I had my eyes in my target goal. And so I just kept moving. I didn't let the traffic jam stop me from getting that sweet hot meal when I get home. Yeah.
That definitely sounds simple, but I wonder if it really was this simple. But I'm going to go straight into asking you how you've been able to build during these COVID times, especially for new members who have gotten started. Some have made records out of this, and well, like my mentor would say, some have broken records, and others are definitely slacking in it. So I'd like to find out from you during these COVID times. How has your business been? I mean, has it been, growing as the way? Obviously, you've ranked up to marketing director, but would you compare the progress during these COVID times vis-a-vis the past?
I'll tell you honestly, this COVID time was the best for me. We actually got a senior rep in my team in 4 days. Yeah. What basically we need to understand is that COVID is either negative or positive, depending on what mindset you've created. So what we did in our team was we constantly kept having team trainings, kept having team calls, and building the mindset of the people to realize that this is a time to take advantage of the situation. During the COVID period, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were paid 50% of whatever they were earning. And a lot of people who are entrepreneurs also lost income. I'll give you an example. Like I said earlier on, I'm an architect and a hotelier, as well as a franchise with MTN. As a hotelier, for the five months, my hotel was virtually empty. So we had to do alternative to be able to make or earn an income in the hotel by focusing more on the restaurants and then trying to see if we could deliver food for free. Hotels delivering food, yeah, that's what we began to do. But my MTN business tripled in profit because everybody went online, so data units was being bought consistently. Assuming you speak to someone who has only a hotel business, of course, the person has gone completely low and needs an alternative. So this was an opportunity for people to see that with what is going on, which is the online business, and you can actually make it triple. So for us, what we kept doing was growing the mindset of our team members, making them realize that this is an opportunity to give people an alternative. You can't tell yourself you're comfortable. And World Ventures, this business is the alternative. We also had proofs of people earning during the period. And so we used those proofs to show to them that even though you lost your job, even though you've lost income, there is an alternative for you. And that was what they caught into. So what we just did was build a mindset, make people realize that take the negative you see to positive, pay attention to the positivity, and then you
pay
get
attention to the
up.
positivity, and you get people to sign up. Now, Nkonye, so for someone who has just gotten started, I mean, especially for new members, how do you start your new members? If somebody got started on your team today, personally, how would you set them up? What would you do for people that, because I know a lot of new members are guilty of that. I can't even begin to count the number of times I get random messages from people wanting help on how to even go about one thing or the other. How would you get a new member set up?
Okay, we have a system where we just try to duplicate ourselves. We already have existing tools, which are the training materials. We have things on the back of it. We have things on the payments, the composition plan, on the product. So once you come into the system, the first thing we do is send you to our Google Classroom or our Webinar Jam, already set up presentations in the Webinar Jam that you go through to be able to set up yourself. But what is really key is that any new member that joins for business must have the opportunity of earning. So what we do is try to make a new member earn from the first day he joins. We call it TikTok 24, whereby the new member immediately enrolls someone. If you enroll one person, you've already earned. But the beautiful thing about the system is that when you enroll one person, you don't get paid until you're a business rep. And that money will be paid to your upline. So we just tell our new members, listen, you've enrolled one person, but you're not going to get paid. You know why? Because you've not been a business rep. So try to get your 4 within the first week of the paying week so you get paid. And once a new member takes that money and gets paid that first week, he's hooked. So you see him or her always wanting to always work and continue. So we call it TikTok 24, TikTok 7 days. Make sure that within the first 24 hours you've enrolled a new member, that new member gets the name list immediately, and you drill down the name list so that the new member gets paid within that week. Once they're paid, they will be hungry for more. Aside that, we have consistent tools which our leaders have already prepared for us that we make sure we just transfer down. The way I received, I also send it down to my new members. So without me constantly be on their back, they know the product because we have it out there. They know the composition plan because we have it out there. They also know how the back office works because we have it out there. If they have any questions, they come back to us and we're able to set all that questions out. Yeah.
So on that note, I'd like to find out, when you wake up, what is a typical day like right now in the life of MD Nkonye? What's a typical day for you like? I'd like to know, because I see, I mean, you're mother of 4, all these things, all these titles and businesses you have going on. What is a typical day like for you in life generally, before we move to World Ventures?
Okay, when I wake up in the morning, I first of all say my prayers. Then I try to do a mini exercise for myself, stretch exercise to wake up my whole body. So it's not a full exercise, a stretch. I do some good reading. Sometimes reading could be spiritual, or the reading could be something encouraging in terms of personal development. But most times I start with spiritual, then go to personal development reading. And funny enough, I do clean my house till now, yes. So I get about the cleaning and make sure everywhere is cleaned, then set the domestic aspect of my home in tune. And then afterwards, I set the commercial aspect of my life in tune. Even though I have different businesses, of course, I have different people who are managing them. So it's more like an autopilot business for me. And I just make sure I monitor everyone. Yeah.
Earning some good residual income alongside with it. So that's
Yes,
definitely now.
yeah.
Nkonye, tell us what has personal development, the personal development factory World Ventures is. What has it done? I mean, in terms of our events, and for people that just get started and don't see the value or importance of some of these trainings, I can't. It's so hard getting a new member to appreciate the fact that they have to sacrifice a few more bucks, to build their mindsets before the paycheck. What would you say to someone who is, probably feels pressured or feels, bothered to always be able to order or invest in a personal development event?
As an architect, I had to be in school for 6 to 7 years for me to come out and then take my professional exam, and then I'm able to design in the country I stay in. So there is nothing that you don't need to get trained to be able to do it. Even as a child, you get trained to walk. You start from crawling and then you get trained to walk. So when you are in a business, you need to understand the tools of that business. It's something that you cannot do without. So training is something that must be inbuilt for you to be able to make money. If you don't do it, you don't know what the business is all about, and nobody's going to put food on your table for you. It's something that we must always key into. When I got into World Ventures, I knew nothing about World Ventures. I knew nothing about network marketing. So the first thing I did was to key into every single training. And that has changed my life, because there is no training that is the same. And as you develop in life, as you develop in rank, things you've heard before begin to make meaning differently. So you can't even say, oh, I attended this training, so I'm not going to attend the next one. Because when you attended the training as a senior rep, when you attend the training as a marketing director, your experiences between the senior rep and the marketing director is so enormous that the training of the marketing director or the training of the director is different, even if it's the same words. So those experiences which you go through makes a lot of meaning in between while you attend a training. I've seen it as something that empowers you. And World Ventures is one company that has given the best personal development training I've ever seen in the world. I must tell you, I've worked with MTN for 14 years. I've never gotten that kind of training. So they don't just train you on the business. They also train you to develop yourself personally. And that training they give to you, you apply in every single thing. The first time I joined World Ventures, I went for the training. I applied what they gave me in my MTN business. And that year, we got so many awards. So you can imagine what the personal development training they give you in World Ventures is simply just the best. When you have the mindset, you are definitely changing your glass of Coke to a clear glass at the end of the day. And once you have a clear glass, you're open-minded, you can think out of the box, and you make a lot of difference in your life in everything. So training is something that you must do. Training is something you must key into. You can't afford to miss it.
Yeah. Awesome. And this is with respect to our next training event coming up in November, A View from the Edge. If you're on this call and you're not thinking about booking for A View from the Edge, then you heard it from MD Nkonye. You are playing yourself. Now, Nkonye, how would you what's the best way to put this question? But how have you been able to deal with all the challenges that come with building in a market like Nigeria, especially because number one, it's one of the African countries that is well known for network marketing, and people have been, whatever. When it comes to the network marketing industry, how have you been able to build there? The fact that we don't have, it's not an open market, we don't have dream trips, nothing. How are you building, and how do you address the challenges that come with it?
I like the way you said whatever. Because the truth of the matter is I'm one of those people who were among the whatever, in the sense that we never loved network marketing. There are a lot of people in my country that have been so burnt with experiences in other network marketing businesses. Now, when that happens, what you now do is you cloak network marketing as a bad business. No, it's not. I've been into it now, and I can tell you it's not. What is bad is the people. And the good thing is that World Ventures trains you in your personal development, your core values, your ethics. So it helps you from being a bad person to a good person. The business is not the bad thing. It's the people themselves that have done bad things with the business. You know, so being in that kind of life, the first thing when I got into network marketing, everybody was like, wow, how could you? It's fraud, it's this. And I said, no, I've got integrity, I've got ethics, I've got values. So listen to me for me. And by the time they began to eat into the company and they saw that the company also has such good ethics and core values, they could easily latch onto it, and that was how the business began to grow. So what is key is you as an individual need to grow your own integrity, and that's what a lot of people buy into. That's what a lot of people see and they also buy into. You have to have the confidence and the integrity, which is what a lot of people buy into. So with that, we're able to grow our market. Many times we've had a lot of people in our team that were not paid. I will tell you, I've got great leaders. I've got my sister Ziggy, which is one of our leaders, and Coach Henry. They are great leaders. They fought tirelessly to ensure that everybody got paid. People who had not been paid for 6 months got paid huge sums of amount of money. And when that happens, it further builds the integrity of the company. It further builds the trust that the people in the system have. So one thing is having fantastic, great leaders that stand by you when there's wind and storms. And the other thing is you as an individual ensuring that you portray that integrity. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely great to know that. We've got some 68 people on the call tonight, and I'd like to, I'm sure we'll be inviting some questions from our guest. And before we do so, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got questions, you might as well raise your hand. Not raise your hand, don't do it literally, but virtually, okay? So yeah. We'll be taking questions in a bit, but MD Nkonye, please tell us if you were to do anything differently. I mean, having been a part of this amazing concept in the last 1 year, 8 months, I'm sure there are a lot of mistakes that you might have made, especially in your first year. If you were to do things differently, a bit differently, what are some of the things that you do before we invite questions?
Okay, the first thing is when you join this business, what are you joining for? Are you joining for travels or are you joining for business? You need to cut it clear what you are joining for. And when you decide you're joining for business, you need to understand how you grow. When I initially started, I started off with enrolling a lot of travel members. And so I grew myself. It's tough to do that because when you enroll a lot of travel members who are not doing the business, you are just constantly enrolling. You're doing the whole work yourself. But network marketing is all about teamwork. So you need to be able to understand that you need people who are also doing the business and then you work with them. Now, as a team, just like a tree cannot make a forest, when you now get that team, you need to hold it strong and work with your team. You are not an employer. You are all colleagues. It's very key. And then the second thing also is that a lot of people who rank up, which is a mistake I made at a time, when you rank up to a particular level, you get into a status mode. You need to constantly be in a survival mode. When you get into a status mode, you don't do the work as much as you used to anymore. So put yourself in a survival mode and you find yourself constantly working because once you get into status mode and you are in a standstill, you retrogress. So those are the mistakes I found that I made and I had to change them over time and ensure that I'm constantly in that survival mode where I'm a new member all the time. Even though I'm a marketing director, I'm a new member. I'm constantly trying to get my 4. I'm constantly trying to make sure that my team get their 4 and constantly making people earn because I've earned. And the more they earn, the more I earn. So that's what happens.
Amazing. Definitely taking some notes right here. So we've got some 15 minutes to wrap up, but I'm going to find out from Nikwe what question he has for us tonight. So Nikwe, if you can hear me, let me try to unmute you. You have the floor.
Yes, Harold, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Awesome, awesome. Great, interview. And my question is, sometimes during three-way calls, since you mentioned you have team members who have not been paid, and also you did mention that you work within integrity. Sometimes there's the temptation that you have a team member who actually works very hard, but for some reason have not been able to get their fall. Then someone they signed up just comes to ask them, okay, how much money have you made so far? You yourself trying to get me to sign up. How much money have you made? How do you usually handle those things like on the spot?
When they ask you how much money have you made so far, does it mean money that you have made but has not been paid to you? Yeah.
Both ways, be it has not been paid, because they don't know it has not been paid, but you have
Oh, I see.
or
Oh,
the
you just
other
told
side,
me how
when you
much.
haven't made money at all by
Okay.
your still question.
Yeah. Now, when you are trying to get your first four and somebody asks you, how much have you made? You said, I just started the business. Be honest, I just started the business and I'm looking at you, getting you on board so we work together to get this. And when you have been in the business and maybe you haven't been paid, you don't need to talk about it, but you say how much you've made. What is important is how much you have made. I tell you, World Ventures is a company of integrity. If they don't pay you today, 6 months after, they will pay you. As long as you have good bosses, leaders that are there, they will pay you. They have that integrity. So if you have earned $5,000 and they haven't paid you that $5,000, oh, yes, I have earned $5,000. Where is it? Is it back office money? Yes, right now I haven't been paid, but I will be paid. Because a lot of people in my country ask, is it back office money or is it real cash? So you have to be honest. Yes, it hasn't dropped down, but I believe it will drop down. Now, people always feel a bit scared. Oh, I don't want to work. And then at the end, I don't earn anything. The beautiful thing about this company is that the only investment you do is the money you use in enrolling. Yes, it's not an investment company. And that money is between $150 to $1,000, right? That money is what triples and doubles and quadruples for you. And that money is also money you get back in points. So you really don't lose anything. So you have to make people realize that even if you enroll and you haven't gotten your fall, you are able to have a fantastic vacation for less. So they lose nothing. And then when you get your fall, it's an added thing to you because you begin to make money off the system. So people must see the company in a win-win situation. You are the one who controls the bait. You're the one who controls the whale. And once you have made the person you're speaking to see the product in a win-win situation, he keys into it immediately. Yeah.
So by the way, issues of non-payments usually stem from what technical than from the company. So that's just for you to notice. If I'm sure MD Nkonye refers to the fact that if probably someone has a back office issue that led to a delay in their payment, right? World Ventures is always quick to come through. So the next question I'm going to take, we have
Sorry, Harold, just to even let you know, I have a team. We have someone in our team who became a director, and her account was suspended. And for 6 months, she was tirelessly working. She just ranked up as a marketing director 2 days ago, and she was not paid for 6 months. And guess what? She was paid over almost $4,000 in a whoop, boom, one day. After working for 6 months. So you imagine if she stopped working, she would have lost that whole $4,000 and she would have lost the opportunity of ranking up to becoming a marketing director.
And it's very important that you mentioned that, because people are always focused. Sometimes we get to focus more on the problems than what is really, really in front of us and doing what generates the income. So thank you so much with that. The next person I'm going to invite to the floor, before I go to Pastor Lucky, I'd like to take a question from Pastor Reindorf. Pastor Reindorf, you have the floor.
Yes, Harold, thank you so much. MD Harold, thank you so much for this opportunity. I, 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 I heard our great guest today saying that some of their members were not paid for some time, but the leaders have to fight and get it done. Not really like fight as in physical blows, but I mean, help in all that. A typical one of us is have anyone in their team, in her team, gotten a back office money and for all of a sudden couldn't trace the money back, and what did they do about it?
All monies in the back office is traceable. All monies. Once you have studied your back office, there is a section in the back office that says how much you earn weekly and how much you have earned monthly. All you need to do is screenshot it and send it to support. Follow it up and you'll be paid. All monies that you've earned, even if it's $50, is traceable and will be paid by World Ventures with time once it has been confirmed or the technical issues concerning it is being cleared out. It will be paid. We have a lot of people in our system that have worked 6 months, 4 months, and they all are getting paid. Sometimes it will be account setup that was the issue. They are all getting paid right now. Our leaders have done a fantastic job. MD Zigewe and RMD Henry Moyo, and everybody's getting paid. So the system works. It does work. The company has integrity. It does have. And I have actually seen all payments go through. Yeah. No matter how accumulated it is, no matter how small it is all paid. So it's traceable, it's in the back office, and there are sections in the back office where you will see all weekly payments and all monthly payments. It's traceable. Yeah.
By the way, so with regards to this issue, it's all about Payoneer. You know, Payoneer for a very long time we're not ordering, or you couldn't order cards from Nigeria. So that was a big problem that you had to deal with. So in Nkonye, the issue about payment is not with World Ventures, but with the fact that Nigeria had some very real issues with payments, right? Via international platforms and stuff like that. So it's more of payment platforms being available in the country she's building rather than World Ventures. I guess that's what she's talking about. So the next question I'm going to invite is from Pastor Lucky. Pastor Lucky, if you can hear me. Let's go. Pastor Lucky is on the floor. Okay.
Thank you, MD Harold. It's a privilege for me to talk to you this evening. Actually, it's in the morning in South Africa. How are you, MD Nkonye?
Yes,
can you hear me?
How are you? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad today to speak to you. What I wanted to ask is that how do you help someone who have tried maybe to follow the system? You find that maybe in a day you have to put 3 or 4 or even more into the call. Normally we have about three calls in a day, and someone will be going and inviting people for the presentation. When you get there, you find that your people are not there, and then you have been consistently doing this, pushing, trying all your efforts to how do you assist in that area? Please, thank you. God bless you.
Okay, thank you. I had such experience where I'm arranging a travel party and I get there and my own team, they're not there. What I always do is I just show, because when you sow, you will definitely reap. Even if it's not your team members you're sowing for, one day you will find out you're beginning to reap for yourself. So just show. Then what you do is, what I always do is, after I have done that open call, I now try to do a private call. I now go to a team member and say, okay, I want to have a private Zoom for you. So that team member is now compelled to make sure he brings in people because the Zoom is only for him or her. Or I go to, I say, I'm doing a travel party in your home. Will I do a travel party in your home and sit down and face you? You bring your friends. So when I've done the open call, go a further step by trying to go one by one to my different team members and engage them directly. Do a travel party in their home, do a private Zoom call for them. So once I do that, automatically they begin to work and show, because they wouldn't expect me to do a private Zoom and they're the only ones there. They will go outland to invite people because that Zoom was fixed specifically for them.
Thank you very much for that question. The last question we're going to take is from Leo. So Leo, if you can hear me, please take it away.
Nothing really. I think good evening all. I've just been a very good listener and watching. I happen to be in Nigeria currently. I'm locked up in Ireland. I got to know this recently. It's just my first time, nothing much. I think I will wait for subsequent meeting for me to be part of it. It's been interesting and awesome. I quite really appreciate all what the woman has given. That's just my own contribution, not really comments. Or no, not really question, just a comment. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be part of this Zoom meeting.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So in wrapping up, MD Nkonye, your final words to our very awesome guest on the call. What advice would you give to someone who's just getting started? You know, why they should take this seriously or probably not seriously? Your final words for us.
Well, first of all, you have to see this as a business. When you invest 1 million cedis in any business, would you allow the 1 million cedis to run away or just to be thrown away? No. You work so hard to turn it around, right? Even when it's going down, you're working, because you see you put in a lot of money. So even if you have just put in only $150 or $300, see it as a business. See it as a long-term investment. See it as something that is more than 3 years. That way, you're beginning to build a legacy for yourself. When you see it as a quick scheme thing, oh, let me try it. If it doesn't work, I'm out. You will never be able to give it your 100%. So even if you're doing it part-time, give it full-time attitude. If you're doing it full-time, of course, you also give it full-time attitude. Then I would always say, build a skin of resistance. There is a word called friction in the dictionary, and it's there because it will always exist. Now, what is the friction? Is the adversities or the problems that you face. Build a skin of resistance by constantly taking action, being persistent and consistent. Don't ever quit. Because when you quit, you will never see the gold mine. Always tell yourself the gold mine is in the next hole, and you will definitely get that hole where it is. Then most importantly, remain humble, remain coachable, and open-minded. Let your leaders lead you. I mean, MD Harold has been MD Harold because he's gone through an experience. So definitely he has that experience to transfer to you. So once you're humble and coachable, the sky is just the beginning for you, because he's going to pour in everything he has, or the leaders there will pour in everything they have, and then the sky will be the beginning for you. Always remain in survival mode. That's my number one. I'm constantly in survival mode. I'm constantly a new member. I'm constantly trying to get my first 4. So I never stop showing. Because we have a ratio that if you enroll 1 person, you probably have shown 10. So if I want to enroll 10 people, I have to show 100. So constantly show. We use the webinar jam, which makes it very easy for us to show a lot of people at the same time. So always be in the survival mode. Yeah, thank you.
Always be in the survival mode. Thank you so much. You heard it from Marketing Director, Mrs. Nkonye Duru. Nkonye, thank you so much for gracing our hot seat tonight. It's been a pleasure having you. God bless you so much for the good work that you are doing. Very soon, you'll be seeing us in Lagos. We're coming there. Thank you so much, guys, for taking time out to be on our call tonight. I hope it's been impactful as always. Same time next week, we'll come back and with someone else. Keep your fingers crossed. My name is Harold Amenyah, Marketing Director. Have a good night.